Yeah, so like Tangela and Amstel Back are the new cards on this one since Misprint Con 2018. On this page, the Jace's Spellbook filler, which is a 1 of 2, and the White M filler, which is a 1 of 7, I believe, are the new fillers on this page since over the past year. This page, I've got 2 new fillers, or 3 actually, even though this one's technically not a filler, I believe. We've got the Italian Cold Snap filler, we've got the Hydra filler, and I got the blue number card to finish my set of colors. So the Face the Hydra filler is a 1 of 1, and the Italian Cold Snap filler is a 1 of 2.
That's a nice one too.
Oh my god, I was so happy to pick that up. Really sad story on that one, but I won't go into it. Just how I lost out on both of them originally and ended up paying like a lot more later down the road to finally get that one. So I have the black-white fillers. There's actually, all 3 of these are foil. And there are 3 different foil variations, and it took me a lot of videos to convince Alexis that
these 2 are different?
That there were 3 variants, actually.
Okay.
And this variant here, I believe, is kind of one of the rarer ones. But they're out there. The Drop 3 filler with the rare holo stamp, that one's pretty new. They kind of showed up in mass. I think the one Alexis has that has the promo stamp on it's like insane. Got so lucky with that one.
That's a pretty cool one right there.
Oh yeah. It's I forget if it's unhinged or unglued, but I have both of them. It's
wow, yeah.
Unhinged.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I have an unhinged one. They're a lot more common.
Right, but I think there's about 6 of these in existence, or at least that we've discovered. Where the silver border one, unglued, you said?
Yep, unhinged.
Unhinged. Okay, I'm never going to get those right.
First set, second set, that's all that matters.
Never going to get that right. But yeah, it looks really cool, and like seeing it next to the black filler, I mean, hopefully there's not glare on the video, but...
there's a little right here.
Okay.
But nothing up there.
Also, with these fillers here, this is another case where you have 2 different foil variants. So these are both foil, but they actually reflect light very differently. I think it has something to do with underprinting coats. I don't know. It's weird, and we'll have to look at it at a future Misprint Con.
Yep.
On this page, the new filler is the foil Innistrad filler, which took me way too long to find, considering how new I kind of perceive Innistrad to be in my mind. And as I turn the page, look at the...
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Miscut filler card.
So it's from a Precon deck, or a Commander deck, I think? Commander, yeah. So all those wonderfully miscut Commander decks have wonderfully miscut fillers as well, if we get lucky, and this is one of those.
Right, because they're 10 by 10 sheets, but three of the cards in the deck are foil, so they don't print those on the same sheet.
Right.
I meant to mention last night, did you see the card Samantha had? It had sheet edge text, which mentioned the filler card?
Yes, I did. I think she wanted to sell that to Kevin.
Yeah.
But I think she's going to put it up for auction on the group, and I'm going to go pretty hard on that. That's exciting. That's so exciting. It said, like, it basically had the sheet contents, which was the deck name, and then it said plus discard on it. So it basically mentioned the fact that the sheet had discard fillers on it in the sheet text.
I feel like I've seen that before somewhere.
Oh, keep an eye out, because I want it.
I wonder if some of my sheet edge cards have it on there, because I think I've seen, like, plus discard written on sheet edge somewhere before.
That's pretty cool. As I turn the page, there's one card to really look at. It's this one right here.
Okay.
Here, I'll try and keep it in a similar spot.
Oh, wow. Yep.
So that one's always fun. We got our oversized fillers. So we got Plane Chase, Archenemy, and Commander. Got some wonderful altars by my wife. Those are,
And an altar by Chur.
and an altar by Chur as well, who's not my wife. From the first Misprint Con. Fillers are my jam.
I like how you can see this one through the...
Right. So we got more fillers. So my fillers have kind of started to expand beyond the pure cardboard fillers and into other paper fillers. These are Godbook fillers. This one is from the Champions of Kamigawa Godbook. This one over here, Lonely Filler in the corner, is from the Onslaught God book. And I have the rest of the God books, but I don't want to toss them in this binder. It's kind of fat. This, I don't know exactly what this is. I believe it's like an ink test, maybe, or maybe this was just a proof for like the flip cards back in Kamigawa. Like, I don't know, and I should have asked more questions about it when I got it, but it's just really cool.
I can always ask if I think about it. Just
All right, yeah,
put it on my to-do list. Or you can ask. I mean, you know where it came from. So.
Right. This is a misprinted Godbook page.
Wow.
So the cool thing about this is it can't be faked, right? Or if like in order to fake it, like you'd have to go through really excessive, insane. I can't even fathom like what it would take to fake this, because like the separation has to happen in the source file, right? Like, because these are on inkjet, right? Or laserjet? Laserjet, yeah. So it's not the offset lithographic printing process, which means you don't have those separated plates. So like this printed like this all in one pass, which is fun.
Right.
Yeah.
You would need to steal some data from WotC to fake this.
Yeah.
Or photocopy that page.
Or photocopy this, yeah.
Well, that
That
won't quite work. That would be it would be a fake, but it would be a low quality fake, but be able to tell.
Right. Yeah. You'd see overhead fluorescent reflections. And here's another page from that same God book. And like the really cool, I lucked into these. I picked up these God books specifically for those filler pages.
Did Keith see these?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, yeah.
But he was going through it so quickly. I don't know if he had like really enough time to process. And
Yep.
There was the alpha playtest cube. Like
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully sometime in the future I'll have more time to like really sit down with Keith and go over some shared loves. But actually, I also the Champions book has the same error in it, and that's just like 2 books for fillers, and they both have the misprint in it. Like, what
That's
are
perfect.
the chances? Like, mind blown. I think we're going into some test prints. We got the German-French test prints, so...
That's cool.
Yeah, Shadow Mage Infiltrator, yeah, alternate 8th edition, right? They're the Judgment test prints. Alt Frame. Man, I'm not running on
Alt
much
Frame
sleep.
8th edition.
Alt Frame 8th edition? Yeah. I want one of the unglued ones, right? The egg?
Yeah.
The foil ones. That's on my to-get list still.
Reminds me of the mini card.
Yeah, I can't give you either of mine.
That would be cool if I had the respective mini cards for both
Yeah.
of these. That would be absolutely wild.
I've held them both.
Right. I have some of the other ones further.
I don't know if he's willing to sell it, but I know where that one's at.
Okay. Maybe I'll be able to trade in money, or who knows. The Chinese 5th edition test boosters, completely weird. They contain Netrunner cards. Like, that's just so wild. This very booster right here was opened by Kevin Gardner on video, live in the Misprint group, to authenticate the fact that these test print Netrunner cards came out of them.
It's a nice way to display it.
Yeah. I love D-ring binders because you can get these like weird quirky binder pages for like weird layouts and odd items and oversized cards or calendar pages or whatever you want. So it's why I like them over those
And the crimp is weird here.
Oh yeah. I think
That's one of the ways to
I want to
spot
say
it.
that it's like a tear thing. Also, something to note is like the gold on this is different than actual Chinese or actual 5th edition boosters in general. Like the gold on it on the 5th is like
4th
reflective foil. What was that?
4th edition.
4th edition. Sorry. Yeah, it was like reflective foil, and this one is kind of like this matte gold.
Yeah.
So got some more test prints. This is a scrap sheet piece used for testing the sharpness of the cutting blades. At least
cool.
That's a story I've heard. Solid green kind of lets you see the edge quality pretty well. I think it's like really nice high contrast. And the back on that is normal magic back. So yeah, we got some textless foil test prints. We got some foil, I believe they're Exodus era, like shooting star era test prints.
Okay.
I think that like the story I got on them was that they were made to kind of test like what type of foil stock they wanted to use. And
Are they real sensitive to touch?
They are. I've
Yeah.
heard that if you touch them and like leave a fingerprint on them, it won't come off.
Yeah.
So I've never put that to the test.
Good, good.
This one actually here came from Bradley, and it's actually got a white back on it, which is pretty wild.
I also have one
Yeah,
of
you
those.
do, yeah.
If you want me to do that test, I am willing to.
Don't.
Wow.
I don't want you to do that test. Please don't. So we got more random things. This is kind of one of those pages where like, all right, all these cards are really cool, but I can't thematically organize them anywhere else in the binder together. So I'll just jam them together on one page. So we've got the specimen worm that Samantha is hunting for. I don't even know what event this is from, but they just put them in as con, like in part of like the con swag packages or whatever. Invitational card, Wyvern Back Valid, mini magic cards.
That's 2 cards, right? Separate?
Yeah, so it's got
So
two.
just stuck in there together?
2 of them. There's also a little swamp on the back, so maybe that'll show.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. We got the double-sided Ishin Shade, which Daniel finally picked up. That's awesome. You should recognize this one.
Yep, I do. That's where my mana breach went to.
Yep. Longest auction ever.
Yeah, it's like 2 years. 2 years.
And this is a moth that's been smashed into the card. It's like really gnarly and gross, and it's got like some texture to it. It's been printed on top of.
So that happened going through the rollers in the printing press.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because there's this nice bright light that attracted our moth to smash it. And when you figure out what these are testing, let me know.
Sure, yeah.
We got some nice miscuts. So half of the cards you're seeing are factory miscuts. So all of these are factory miscuts. Unfortunately, these bottom 4 are non-factory cut, but they are from scrap sheets. And the way we can confirm that is the orientation on that is flipped.
Which is pretty awesome.
It is very awesome. To my knowledge, there still exists one uncut sheet of that scrap sheet, or like a quadrant or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But this is the shows more than 2 cards page. This one shows 3, but I really love the cut. We got some various double prints. This one's actually really cool. I don't think it'll show up on video. It's a mole drifter, and if you kind of look really carefully at it, you'll notice that the art is flipped, which means that it was an ink transfer from the sheet below it.
Okay.
So it's a mole drifter on front and a mole drifter on the back as well.
Wow.
Everyone knows what these are. These are albinos. They are missing everything except the black pigment, or ink, or both. Pigment in the ink. We've got some blue binos, as they've been recently called. So these are not sun faded or sun bleached. Looking under a microscope, you could actually see specific portions on the card. This one's the most obvious, where there's actually splattering of yellow and magenta ink that are fully intact. And it's in patterns that you could not physically mask on a card when bleaching.
Okay.
So that's kind of a really good tell. When you're looking at it under a microscope, it's like super clear. You're like, okay, yeah, there's no way that could be bleached. Also, when comparing it to an actual sun-bleached back, you could very clearly see the difference between the two. Like, the cyan on this is fully intact, where on a sun-bleached card, it will fade. Like if you
Kind of around the edges?
No, actually, the cyan itself uniformly fades across the entire card. A sun-bleached
Okay.
back card will be like much lighter.
Just at a slower rate
Right.
than the other colors.
Yeah, exactly. We got this really super dark back card. I want to get this out of the, because it looks super cool. Hopefully that's showing up.
Yep, it does. Have you put a black light on that yet?
I haven't.
I bet you can see right through the black.
It's yours in your cut truck.
Yeah, it's in my truck.
We'll take a look at it after
Yeah.
the video. And some light backs and some dark backs. And we got some crazy color errors. I have the normal versions of most of these underneath it, so if you want to show a comparison. Actually, I think the Kavu it really sings as far as like what it's supposed to look like.
Wow. That's a pretty cool one too. I like that.
Oh my god, yes. I was so happy to pick that up. Just because, like, Time Elemental is near and dear to all of us
Yep.
for our lovers of Sarah Angels. So having a really nicely misprinted Time Elemental.
Is that missing art block? Yeah. What is that missing?
It's missing, it's heavily faded cyan. And
Okay.
faded, I mean, lightly applied, as
Yeah.
Tavis would correct.
Yeah, I don't like our terminology for that. I don't like faded is what it looks like. Light printed doesn't roll off the tongue.
I
doesn't.
know. I mean, that's the issue with a
But
lot
it's
of the
more accurate.
terminology.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of it is not accurate to, like, what the actual print terminology use, like the pressmen use.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's just kind of
Like we
what-
call them uncut sheets, and they call them press sheets.
Right. So yeah, these all have just various legitimate color errors. We got some more color errors here. We got faded black ink on the art black and text black. And by faded, we mean lightly printed. Sorry.
Yeah.
Same conversation over again. Deja
So,
vu.
If-
so
when
I
you
think
say
that-
faded,
I
people
think
can assume
faded
they're sun faded and
is
they're not.
reasonable.
That's true.
Because it faded off the rollers.
I mean, we could say diluted, maybe. Diluted, low running,
I like diluted black.
Absent.
absent.
Absent?
It's not completely
It's,
absent.
right, somewhat
Partially
absent.
Diluted.
We got some really cool cards here.
not diluted.
We got red tape that's been
not like it's
printed on
been
top
diluted
of.
with water. I
You
think
could,
it's
in
just
theory,
missing
peel
altogether.
this off and have white cardstock underneath. This Rise of the Eagles actually has medical disclaimer information on it from a gout medication called Eucerif.
Okay.
And we recently figured that out when we saw Ryan's wonderful collection. So that mystery has been solved. This card is just insane. It's not even worth going over because there's so much weird stuff happening with it. Hopefully you can pick it up in video. But it's like got normal black borders, but it's also got an offset printed back. So it's like, why does it only have one pass of black on, like, that's normally aligned, and all the other passes are, but the thing is, it's not even just all the other passes, it's the same black border pass as well, because the black border is also off-centered, like, on one of the passes. It's weird. There's
That
so
is
much
weird.
weirdness going on with that.
Maybe the black border was on both black layers, and one of them is
Maybe.
off.
That's probably one of the best. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Huh. I'll have to tell that to Ryan because we were like talking about that for half an hour and that was not one of the things that we thought about. But
Okay.
It really should.
It's a simple explanation. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the? Do you mind if I go back?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can I pull it up?
Yeah. Go for it.
I see.
Yeah. It's a weird, wonderful card. I've seen like only a couple from that sheet. Isaac should recognize this middle one. These cards are conjoined, I think right there. So they are physically connected. Like we got the flag errors, folded sheet.
So these were like folded when they came out of the pack?
I believe so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't have the pleasure of opening these wonderful cards. I always buy secondhand.
Yep.
But yeah, like this one was folded prior to printing, which is very obvious. Especially when I flip it over and you see this portion on the other side of this. This one was folded after printing but before cutting. So it's kind of cool seeing those two little different histories on those cards that you can reverse engineer just by knowledge of the printing process. Here we have bunches of randomly weird cut cards, little tiny slivers. All of these are factory errors and can be authenticated via physical evidence on the card in one way, shape, or form. With the exception of this, like there's really no way to tell that that's 100% factory or not.
Other than opening the pack yourself?
Other
or-
than opening the pack
yeah,
yourself.
Trusting the person who did?
Correct. But I'd say all of them, I see no reason why they would be fake. And there's been other examples of people finding cards like this and like this.
Tiny little one there.
Tiny
Yeah.
little crimp. We got some tape connectors, 9 horizontal sequential connectors with tape. I really kind of want to see like what the tape looks like in the factory because that's like a huge chunk of tape. I
Yeah.
wouldn't even imagine Like, did you just like wrap it like in the saran wrap and then like throw a bunch of tape? I don't know. I don't know how that gets on there. I don't know if it's storage or it's weird. I love it. We got a whole bunch of hollow stamps, double stamps, extra hollow stamp foil, the Russian Wingmate Rock. We got 2 stamps on this one, 2 stamps on that one, like just all sorts of weird stuff. We got a hollow stamp on a card that's not even supposed to have one. We've got some miscut cards with the hollow stamps in the correct place. We got some off-center cards with the hollow stamps in the incorrect place. We've got off-center card with the hollow stamp. Or is that off-center? No, it's not. But just hollow stamp in the wrong place.
There's a lot of things that can go wrong with this process.
Right. Like, there's so many little subtle variants, and I try to collect as many of them as I possibly can. Now we have date stamp errors, so these 2 have the date stamp printed on the incorrect side. This is actually a flip card, so the date stamp's supposed to be on the other side. This one's upside down, this one's also upside down. These 3 in the center have all been double striked.
Oh, wow.
So
You have 3 of them, too.
Well, you've got a triple strike, so I guess
I
that kind
do,
of...
but it's pretty rare to even have 2.
Right. I got really lucky in picking up all those. This one's really fun. We have a Chinese... I forget what the card is called. Chinese card pre-release with a Spanish copyright date on it. The False Prophet, You're No Stranger To.
Yep.
And the Dirkwood has it on the bottom. Now, is that placement on it intentionally at the bottom?
No, I think it's supposed to be up here and the error's down here.
Got it. I wasn't sure if they were like doing multiple locations or if that like because it's like very perfectly at the bottom.
It looks nice there, yeah.
Just more date stamp errors. We've got the Beast of Burden missing the date stamp, but it's also twisted miscut. And the 3 at the bottom are just missing the promo stamp entirely. The Lubu, the way you can tell is it's supposed to have a Portal 3 Kingdom set symbol, but the pre-release promos do not because that's where the stamp is supposed to be. So that's how you're able to tell.
Yep, same with that one.
Yeah, same with the False Prophet. And the Stalking Tiger is a very well-known distribution error. A lot of 3 booster blister packs at Target had these Stalking Tigers placed as the promo, and they were all missing that holiday stamp. Hey, look, more stamping errors. I call this my Braille Page because if you like run your finger across the surfaces, you'll find little bumps on a bunch of these cards.
Okay, this is stuff inside the cardstock?
Exactly, yeah, stuff embedded in between the layers of cardstock. And this one, I was actually silly enough to bring to my dentist to have him X-ray to see if we could see if it was like metallic or organic. He looked at me like I had 3 heads, but he laughed and he helped me out with it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it didn't show anything. And I have the little X-ray negative in the back here as the story, but it doesn't show anything. So we've got some shifted foils. It's really cool because on like the Rushwood Herbalist, you can see we have horizontal shifts, but also vertical shifts. So just showing multiple examples of the error on the same card is really cool.
And that's a sheet edge one.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think so. That's the top.
I think all of the Urza, I'm terrible with sets.
I think that's Legacy?
Yeah, all of the shifted Urza's Legacy have this void at the top, like where just the frame was shifted.
Huh. So then, instead of being sheet edge, that's some kind of a black layer underneath the black border.
In theory, yeah.
Yeah. If it's between all the cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like, I've seen a couple from the sheet. I've seen Fairy Conclave, and a few others. I think Mark Kitka, who was here, just had one as well.
Okay.
Card. And they're all like that. These are all foil underprinting errors of various natures, except for the very dark Lotus Champion in the center.
Oh, wow.
This thing is wild. It's probably one of my favorite misprints. Hopefully this shows up. It's foil, it's super dark, it's beautiful in person. Mine's in beat condition. It's got like all these little dings in it, but you don't see these pop up on the market anymore. So yeah, they've gone up quite a bit since I originally picked mine up. And of course, Mark Kitka has like 4 or 5 of them. More underprinting errors. If you want to learn more about underprinting, I'm sure Tavis may mention it in some of his videos, but I also included on my How Magic is Made article, which you could find on MisprintedMTG.com. Plug, yeah. I assume you're posting this on your channel, right?
I probably will,
Cool,
yeah.
awesome.
Look at the finished product when I'm done, and then
Yeah.
as long as it looks good, yep.
Okay, square corner oversized grizzle brand with normal Magic the Gathering card size back. So that just has the incorrect back on it. This is the back it's supposed to have. And
How many of those you suppose exist?
To my knowledge, there's a full set of Angels that Brian Nocenti bought, and this Grizzle brand, and I think there's one other Grizzle brand, and I think you own it.
Yeah,
don't you?
I just opened it a few days ago, so I wasn't sure how many there were.
Yeah. So I think it's 2 sets that are possibly known. Yeah. Here we have a case of split glue, just to show what that means.
Wow.
And because we were doing this on video, I'll take out this beautiful, beautiful forest that Isaac wants really bad.
So normally that wouldn't come out of the binder, huh?
Normally not, and especially
Oh, wow.
it's super fragile. That tear was in it when I got it, so
Yeah.
don't freak out, everyone. And this guy over here.
So that's what the back of the foil looks like.
Yes. I mean, which we kind of know from people who have peeled foils for like altering purposes.
Yeah.
But that stuff is always really curled. And this card here is also really neat. It's a pre-release promo that's missing the pre-release stamp. And this is one of those instances where it's like mandatory to leave the card inside its pre-release packet. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to distinguish it from a normal foil version of the card.
Oh, man.
So like all these people who like leave crimps in like pre-release packs like sealed, I kind of like, oh, you don't need that. Like it's not part of the provenance too much. Like yeah, okay, if it's like fully sealed, I guess you know you could. I don't know. You could fake it,
Yeah, it
like,
helps
but
avoid the claims that like fake.
but even so, like it's not mandatory for the card as far as a collectible entity. Where for this one, it is mandatory. So
Yep, so you can see it's in the pack there.
correct.
Yeah.
These are some folded sheets that don't have the sheet edge
Flag. Yeah.
attached to it. It's really cool because on this one you can actually like see the indentation from like the extra pressure, and this one actually has the hollow stamp that was put on after the fact, which is
That's cool.
really fun. These are supposed to have silver borders, but it's like lightly applied ink. So like when you look at it under a microscope, you could actually see like very, very trace amounts of metallic flake from the silver ink on those borders, which is really neat. These three
So
here,
they're white border, you can play them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They're completely legal. These three here are not artist proofs. They did not make artist proofs in Italian Shadowmoor.
That's cool.
And what's really extra cool about it is they were given to me for free by the guy who I bought these off of. And there's this wonderfully written note in here that contains the story of him opening them and being upset that he couldn't play them because he drafted them.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just really neat to have this little story. It was a nice note. It was a wonderful gesture. And I love stuff like this, you know, like, it's so cool. Super nice. Like, Magic community can be really awesome. There's written proof of it. We got some inverted back cards.
A lot of them.
Yeah, I wanted to try and put together a page of cards from different sets, or foil variants of one another and like non-foil variant. So like the masks I have a foil and non-foil.
Okay.
But everything else is a unique set. And this isn't even like scratching the surface of the number of sets this has happened in. Like for some reason there's a lot of pre-con packs that seem to have inverted back.
They do seem to mess up on precons more
Yeah.
often than normal.
Right, like I mean if you look at like Dan Bach's tower stacking video, he just starts stacking precons on it and all of those precons have inverted backs.
Wow.
So yeah, go check that one out on the group if you could find it. We've got some crazy crimps, vertical crimp, diagonal crimp with an extra little piece, another diagonal. We got a double crimp that hasn't been chopped, a double crimp that has been chopped, a double crimp where the crimp is at the top and bottom, a crimp on a card that you can make a pun about, crimp to lift right. We've got regional crimps, so this one actually has the little circle on it for the rack hole that's in boosters. And
Okay.
this one has just this weird horizontal crimping pattern on it.
And so this came in 2 separate packs.
Yeah. So this one came in 2 separate packs
In the same box.
in the same box, correct? Which is not very common to see. Usually we'll see like half of it.
Yeah, it's difficult to find both pieces.
Because I would imagine that both pieces, like the second piece, however you determine which is the first and which is the second, the piece that's not in the card has a high likelihood of just falling off in production.
Yeah.
And getting lost somewhere. So I think that's why we usually don't see those pieces very often, like both pieces. Just some random inking errors. I don't know if you've talked about these before. Yeah, so just kind of hickey type errors on magenta, cyan. This one in theory was yellow, but I guess it's white.
Yep.
Kind of showing through. Oversaturated with yellow. This one's kind of got a piece of tape on it that, well, not on the physical card, but on like the roller blanket. That
Yeah, on the other side.
Prevented the adhering of yellow ink, so those kind of show really nicely together. We've got this counterspell. Ryan told me the term for what these are called, but I completely forget. I'll have to ask him again. He had a print term for it, and it was cool.
He's great.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. And this is probably one of my most playable misprints. If you've been paying attention, you may notice that a lot of my misprints aren't exactly in the realm of playable. It's more about the quality of misprint that they are. So there's a counterspell. These are all dirty roller blanket type misprints or double prints, or other cards are visible on these. So this Loyal Cathar has a bunch of Loyal Cathars on it. This, I always forget exactly what it is, but if you look in between the lines, you can see another card. This Vengevine's got a couple Vengevines, and these 3 cards at the bottom actually have French cards ghosted on them, which is really cool. So 2 languages on the same card. Tavis's camera just went out of focus.
Yeah.
These are all double prints or registration errors. This one over here has a normal back, which is pretty cool. So if I kind of flip that over, which is a sheet feeding or alignment error. I don't even know exactly what the technical term is. It's all
We're working
conjecture
on
on our part
Yeah.
as far as what we should actually be calling things. These are actually pretty cool. I don't think they'll show up well on camera. They're all alternate 4th edition, and they have registration errors on the front and or back.
In person, I can see that one
Right.
for sure.
So this one has it. So some of them are a little more extreme than others.
That one too, yeah.
It's always easy to see it in the artist text or on the back in the Magic the Gathering or the Gathering TM. So these are all double whammies. Alternate 4th edition visible by the dark A in the corner as opposed to the light A. Just show that next to each other. And a few other elements, which you can learn about in a variety of places. Registration errors. Our wonderful Charlie Brown medallions happen in 3 languages. We have Portuguese, German, and English. I think the one at the bottom is probably one of the most clear ones. The Ruby medallion is very difficult to see. It's kind of got this comic frame edge on it. I don't know. I can't really see from this angle which one is the best looking one.
Yeah.
But you can see that corner of the comic panel, if that is indeed what it is.
Yeah, if it's actually Charlie Brown. Looks like him.
It does, but I don't think, if it's Charlie Brown, it may have been it's not from an actual comic strip, right? Because why would the playing card companies be printing Charlie Brown comics, right?
They print books and stuff.
Did
maybe.
they?
So, yeah.
Okay, I
They
wasn't
print
sure.
anything, so.
Okay, I thought it was mostly playing cards or those types of objects, but
Yeah, like you've got the card with the medical advertisement.
Yes.
So that's just an
That's
advertisement.
true. Yeah, you're right. These are Alpha Cut 4th edition miscut connectors.
Wow.
Yeah, I had them for like a couple years before I even realized they were Alpha Cut 4th. I just thought I had these wonderful set of miscut connectors. Yeah, these are really, really, really cool. And I haven't seen any other miscut Alpha Cut 4th except for ones that Gunnar has sent me on like images in his crazy archives.
He's got a lot of pictures.
Oh my god, yes. These are more Alpha Cut cards. We have Alpha Cut Revised on the bottom. We have Alpha Cut Ice Age right here in the center. And just more Alpha Cut 4th edition. We got some pretty standard miscuts. These three and this one right here, you'll notice they actually don't show a second card on the bottom. It's all black, but if I flip it over, you'll actually see a second card. What that means is these are all miscut into discard fillers.
Okay. That's pretty awesome.
Just more miscuts. We got our alphabet up here, missing XYZ, unfortunately.
For now.
For now, yeah. These are fun. They say proportee of Wizards of the Coast. And this was from Zach's deck, the German two-player pre-constructed thing.
Introductory two-player set.
Yeah, okay, there we go. From that, so it's an advertisement insert for Mirage? Is that
Yeah.
what that- okay.
Yep, that's Mirage.
We've got some miscuts, but they're not really miscuts because the front is aligned on all of these. Same thing with all of these. The opposite sides that aren't showing are aligned properly. We've got some sheet edge miscuts. This one's actually really cool. I don't know if you've seen this one before. It's actually sheet edge that's been like printed over with like black on top. So like you have sheet edge over here that's proper, but this plate over here seems to have gotten some black ink over it somehow.
If you found the uncut sheet, that's probably a quadrant border.
Yeah, I feel like at some point, I think I have a sheet edge miscut, I forget which one, where the quadrant border is actually visible.
Okay.
Or maybe that was one that Peter has.
I'm going to back up one. I'm going to show this cyan, magenta, yellow, black, and text black.
Correct.
There's two black layers. Yeah.
Black and slightly darker black. For any fans of Archer. That filler in there is collateral for Kevin's Play As Written deck. He borrowed a miscut Lore Seeker Stone from me.
Okay.
And he booked it back to Buffalo. More sheet edge miscuts. I like them a lot. I don't know why I have so many, but it's always fun seeing like the information that's on them. This one is from the Deck Builder's Toolkit.
Cool.
This one is from a two-player Gruul Goliath deck, which is the green-red precon. But it's fun because this is the Boros half of the dual deck, I believe. So yeah, it's always fun reading the stuff that's on these. This Beast token here, I actually got to open this token at Kevin's in January. So I had the pleasure of opening it myself, which is something
that's rare.
Yeah, something I would never have the opportunity to do without Kevin. That man is an amazing collector.
Wow.
That's a new pickup.
That's new, huh?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing that before.
So yeah, I've never seen another card from that sheet before, and I was lucky to pick this one up. And Isaac was bidding against me on it.
I feel like I've seen other cards in that sheet, but not sheet edge.
I've seen other horizontal miscuts from alliances, but never to this extent. There's actually a Force of Will that's miscut horizontally. Yeah. Got some 9th edition miscuts that I got from my local gaming store. It's important if you get into collecting misprints to establish a reputation with your gaming store, to know that you are the local misprint guy, because things will fall into your lap that you may not have had the opportunity to get otherwise.
Yeah, they sort through a lot of cards, so they find stuff.
Right, and even the locals, if they know about you, that's even better. This is another double whammy. This one has the foil underprinting kind of blotch right there, but it's also miscut. I think from this point on, like, if there's any cards that you are specifically curious about,
Just say something?
Just say something.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think, like, they're pretty standard from this point. Like, these are just all a bunch of square cut corners in various...
So the super cool stuff's at the front of the binder. That's what you're saying.
For most part, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's kind of... The binder is organized from a kind of category-based thing. So, like, we start off with test prints, fillers, have really high-end color errors, just all sorts of weird stuff. But then we go into miscuts, like minor ink errors, registration errors, double prints. So it tries to kind of capture every possible thing that could go wrong during the printing process, at least that we've seen on a Magic card, and group them into like nice pages. So.
Yeah.
So these are all familiar, our Drudge Swamp, our El Hajij Warp Artifact, our Waltz, our Forest Plains, our Strip Mine Burrowing, Sarah Angel, Time Elemental, Mana Barbs, Sedge Troll, and I need a couple more cards that are out there with the wrong arts, like the Reality Ripple, and when I get that, and maybe some of the other ones. I have the Ring somewhere.
Yeah, the Ring and the Serendip Ifrit, that's the others.
The Ring and the Ifrit. Can go here at the bottom, and I'll move these somewhere else afterwards.
It was nice of them to mess up 9 times so that we could fill a binder page.
Yep. So, cyan smears, magenta smears, yellow smears, black smears-ish, but more just errors. Misprint Con Columbus, like, I had this card in my binder for years. I show up, I show my binder off to a bunch of people, I show it to Bradley Workman, and he's like, oh, hey, wait a second. And he just pulls out these 3 cards, and it's like, oh, okay, well, we have to finish it now. So I ended up trading him for those. I know, but no one's gonna...
This one might be hard to see. Because there's...
Yeah.
I mean, for the connector for this.
Right.
But if he finds them, he can always, like, make room right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To put them in the spot.
These are kind of gray borders, so...
Yeah, you can see them compared to that.
Yeah. All unrevised. So a couple lands in there for you, Isaac. Just various lightly applied ink layers. A random smattering of color errors on a page that I don't know how to organize elsewhere. There's a couple pages in this binder that are like, I don't know how I want to put all these in, so I'll just jam a bunch of cards on a page, and there it is. Here are Khans of Tarkir common errors, and by common, these happened on pretty significant portions of the print run. There were 3 cards, little known, like the first 2 are very well known.
Yeah, you don't see this one much.
The War Behemoth you don't see very much because 1, it's a War Behemoth, and 2, it's just the power and toughness that kind of decided to take a hike. So it took me a few years to finish this page with all 3 threes.
I think there would be more things because I see that there should be a tiny connector here. There's a connector here.
You would think.
And
You would think, but it's based off of what we've seen show up, you know?
We need to find a picture of the sheet and see what's going on. Figure out where these are at on the sheet.
I guess this could be the left edge.
Yeah, that would be really interesting. Like, I don't know why we haven't done that yet. Put
Been
it on
busy.
the list of things to do.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like this one, and hopefully
It's so
we
blue.
can get it to show up on video. But this is actually really cool. As we push it out of the perfect fit, you'll see the saturation change. It really brightens up when you get plastic off of it.
Did you put it next to a black card over here? A regular black
Actually,
border?
I have. Yeah, here we could put that right there.
Yeah, wow.
But let me.
Very blue.
See if I could find something neat to put. Spider confuses me every once in a while.
Okay. Yep.
So it's my blue bordered Ice Age, and this was a result of cyan being printed on the borders before black was, as kind of like a way to kind of double up the darkness, I believe. Back in the old days, they did that, and it's really cool on like cards like this. you'd actually see that cyan dot pattern where the black doesn't print as well. So like printer hickeys sometimes show that cyan grid underneath, and weird errors like that. Some black smears and the dark visions in the bottom corner. I want to ask you about the history of dark visions later.
Sure.
Like how that kind of got coined and became like a thing.
Okay. I was playing back then. I remember that.
How it became a thing and Dark Kaladesh didn't.
Right?
Yeah.
We've got various lightly applied channels, so you can see the differences in the backs of Magic cards when some of our channels are faded and others aren't. This here is not an artist proof. It's Italian the Dark.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you should recognize that one.
Yeah. It's similar to your other Italian
Correct.
cards that.
Yeah, apparently they don't like artist proofs in Italy for some reason, or Wizards doesn't like making artist proofs for Italians, rather.
They made a few.
Yes. Got various printer hickeys. These are all common. This one Isaac wants really badly. I'll give you a scan. These inkers are really cool. They actually kind of show some print history in them. So you can see that our kind of void happened before the text black layer, and the text black layer got applied once the error was resolved, I guess, which is really cool. Down here we actually see the text black and border have the error where the card frame itself doesn't.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And on these two,
That's
the error-
likely a damaged printer blanket.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's like squished, and so
Yeah.
it doesn't pick up the ink.
Oh, that's cool. All right, learning new things. Just more splotches and blotches, technical terms. All of these slightly square corner cards were opened up at Misprint Con 2018. Some standard error cards. There's the ring. I gotta need to move that over.
Yep.
Room Beast.
So all of these are the normal printings of cards, but they have some sort of templating issue incorrect with them. It was either translation errors, mana cost things, but they're all repeated on these cards in these languages, either in part or in whole in the print runs.
Mana symbol's pretty cool there.
This
Extinguish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That one's on every single English Extinguish, but it is really cool. And when I started collecting misprints, like, that was the type of stuff I started hunting. Like, I started hunting, like, hairy rune swords, extinguishes, shifted Gaia's touches. Like, it was easy to find. Like, it's, like, such a really fun way to start a misprint collection with,
Yeah.
like, a low cost of entry.
Yep.
So,
You should show off the Worm Beast because it's important.
Worm Beast?
Okay.
Worm Beast is important.
Samantha is requesting Worm Beast.
Worm Beast is
Here's
awesome.
our Worm Beast. It's a Beast Within token that is a worm.
That makes it better.
It's kind of a small worm.
It's just named worm.
But that makes it better.
Right.
So it was improved by that error.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I had a pig named Chicken once. It was his pet.
I had a chicken named Pig. No, I'm just
Really?
kidding.
No.
I wish. Chickens are cool.
I haven't met a chicken thing.
So here we have some booster wrapper that has not been boosted. They handed these out to stores as kind of like promotional cool things. And I think a lot of stores just threw them out. They were like, well, why don't I have the rest of the boosters and contents?
Where's all the cards?
Yeah, where are the cards? The part I care about that I can use for my business. But anyway, this is just a nice little piece of sheet. Here's the Black Lotus Ultra Pro Puzzle Piece Contest page. This is the rare piece. Never ever gonna get it, but I will pick up these two to complete quote unquote the puzzle. We got our Chaos Orb. This is
That's
the rare
cool.
piece on the Chaos Orb. And we've got our oversized Chaos Orb behind it. I need to pick up an oversized Lotus. Jester's Cap. Not for play use.
Is there a 9-piece Jester's Cap puzzle? Or
No, that would be so cool.
That would be awesome.
So the Chaos Orb, how it says not for play use, it is only for tournaments. It's not for just playing around.
Well, you can play with whatever you want.
No, but you're not allowed to play with it. You can only use it in a competitive tournament.
That's like saying you can only use your Legos competitively.
No, Legos are for play use.
So are Magic cards of any size.
Clearly, it's not.
The card disagrees with you. Yeah.
That would be like if I wrote "do not cut" on the on a
Oh my
large
God.
press sheet, and then someone went to cut it. No, you don't do that. It says not to do it.
Wow. For some reason, whenever I write "do not bend or fold" on my mail, it gets bent or folded.
Like every time?
Every
I
time.
think the problem is that humans don't listen.
Yeah. Don't push this button. Push button.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't push this button. Which button?
Yeah. We've got our
Root with the
Kamigawa statue registration cards. I guess everyone can go register my Kamigawa statues now if they want. But rather than carry around my statues, this is just kind of a cool way to show up. Another page, random misprints. So we got playable crimps, we got NFC, Zendikar, French, English double print, scrap sheet thingy. We've got this weird card. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Pretty wild looking.
They are
Where does this one go?
further in the binder. This thing we looked under a microscope and we have no idea if it's erased or not, but signs point to not, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's really strange. We expected it to be erased, but
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta take
sometimes
those risks.
you get surprised, yeah.
Right? We got some calendar pages that were torn out and parted out, which I think is absurd, but I got them at Misprint Con, so whatever. And here comes the Misprinted snake collection.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so in addition to collecting like every type of misprint, I have a passion for misprinted snakes. So I have some playtest snakes, some Spectral Chaos and Portal, and then just a bunch of crazy miscut snakes and all sorts of weird random errors, all on snakes.
Oh, the back of these are cool.
They are. I like them.
I haven't seen one with the back like that.
Oh, here. Oh, I gotta show this one off because it's a new edition.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So I haven't put these. This is all wonderful pickups from Misprint Con that I have yet to put in the binder.
I have a pile like that.
Yeah. And I'm a little more lenient with my snake misprints. A lot of these I wouldn't approve in the group.
Yeah. Just because it's not in the group doesn't mean you can't collect it.
Right.
Like,
I mean, that's
have fun.
That's the thing that like people don't really seem to understand. Like, if a card makes you happy, then it's special for you, you know, and that's great. But like, whether it doesn't have to go in a group in order to be that. Like, it's just a way we kind of keep traffic manageable and essentially keep the ratio of interesting things higher than the ratio of uninteresting things, because there's a lot more uninteresting things than there are interesting things.
Yeah, for the majority of people, yeah.
Yeah.
Like regular cards.
Yeah, we
Right.
try to keep regular cards out.
A lot more than the misprints, which is why misprints are cool.
So this is another one of those kind of misprints that happened to a set run. That skeletal snake is missing its toughness. So I guess
Okay.
state-based effects, it goes away when it enters the battlefield.
So not good in play as written.
It seems like it wants to have
Yeah.
a toughness. It's got the shield there, but
Right.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's trying.
It's putting in the effort. More,
Enter
more
with a 1/1
snakes.
counter, and then it could, it have some.
More snakes. This Spire Winder was actually a fairly common misprint in Rivals Ixalan, except this one is also crimped. Which
Okay.
is really cool.
That is awesome.
So it's a double whammy. It's what I like calling double misprints. Some inking errors on more snakes. And now we have random various fillers from various card games.
From not magic
From
stuff.
not magic stuff, except for the
That's-
Korean
yeah,
Vision
that's a rules card.
Although nope, I don't. I thought I had a random other filler in here. So yeah, these are some Pokemon fillers, Star Trek, Dragon Ball, Lord of the Rings. These are like WWE fillers. I have no idea what this is from because both sides are rainbow.
same.
Yeah. And this is the start of a misprint deck that I'm putting together because
You're going to play with your cards?
So, yes, in theory.
That's impossible.
I have this like strict policy about not playing with my misprints, but I've decided to start picking up a lot of little minor misprints to try and compile a very casual mono black playable misprint deck, and that's kind of what this section is.
60 card or EDH?
60 card. You'll notice that I don't really have much in the way of land because it's a pretty budget misprint deck, and competing for lands is pricey.
For some reason,
Get some
basic
off-centers
lands,
or
the
something.
most common cards.
High demand, right? Yeah.
I hardly see them at all.
I feel your pain.
I might know someone you can ask for basic lands.
If you look to your right or your left, you might find some people.
Yeah.
I think left is not going to be helpful with this color.
I'm not-
You might like this.
I saw that one go up.
Yeah. Just,
There's been a couple of those.
Is that
Oh,
like
really?
is that like this swamp? Or
I don't know.
Is that,
Yeah,
is
no,
it,
same
just
picture.
Spots?
This one just has this like hazy.
Oh, it hazy.
Yeah.
I was like, this one has spots.
I think I was bidding against you for that one.
What was that? Oh, were you?
I think I was bidding against you for that one. Was that an SCG hockey?
Yeah. And that's kind of it.
Maybe we'll show that next,
Oh.
since it's sitting here.
Okay. We'll show off some fun stuff. We'll start off with these things. So these are pieces of scrap sheets or make-ready sheets that escaped the factory somehow and found their way onto eBay, and then I bought them from the people who had really good deals on eBay. You can see that they are missing text black and art black, which is really cool.
I'm not missing all the art black though, right?
No, it is. It's all the art black
Oh,
So is
that's
the-
built black right there.
and text black. So that's just a combination of multiple pigments.
Really?
Yeah, you get like so when you
Like, I knew that was possible, I just didn't think that they would do that.
it happens though.
They usually supplement it with regular actual black ink, but they do the other colors too, and they get a more rich black.
Although I think I'm trying to. I mean, there is difference between these two, so maybe this one has some of the art black or text. Like I don't know. Maybe not. Difficult from this angle. So we've got those things, and then we've got this wonderful sheet. Is the glare bad? You know what? I'll take it out. Or try to. So this is part of a quadrant from a scrap sheet of Homelands. And earlier you may have seen the Ishin shade that was double-sided. This is the uncut sheet that it kind of comes from.
Yeah. Wow.
So this thing is just really, really cool. Something to note is that the inversion happens
On the
this
center.
way.
Yeah, on the center
So
row.
our center row, like all of the ones that have been found in the wild, have the same card in the center row. But you'll also notice the Aaron Relentless and the Imri Senjir are partners because they're in the same spot when we flip them as well.
Yep.
So that's how that happens. And before the sheet was found, Tavis actually predicted this. Like, you made this call
Years ago.
years ago, and then the sheet was found, and it was like, theory confirmed. It's so cool. So yeah, that's my collection, most of it. Well, these are new pickups, so that I gotta save something for the future.
Maybe next Misprint Con.
Yeah.
I guess that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.